Right, hello, welcome back to the channel. So I'm going to try and make some progress on the Volvo. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Got a new improved wireless microphone. Now it's time to take a look at the brakes on the Volvo. So let's go and have a look. Here's the current state of things. You can see I've got everything pretty much undone. Remember, the fuel tank's out, so it means I've got access to the brake lines. Now it does look like they've been done before, but because I've got the tank off and it makes things a little bit easier, we're going to do that. So you saw I was practicing doing the using the brake flaring tool. So what we're going to do is go to the front, let's cap off the ABS, mark up which pipe is left, which pipe is right, disconnect them. There'll be a bit of drain because obviously the pipes will have fluid in them, and then we can start to pull through and shape the new brake lines. So let's go and take a look at the ABS pump first. Here we go. So here we have the ABS lines, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I think, if I remember rightly, these two are the front in the middle there, and these two are the rear. Now I don't think there's any markings on them, so let's have a quick look just in the Haynes manual, see if it marks them up. But as well, I think I'm only going to undo one at a time and make sure that I've got them the right way around. Well, the answer to that question is the Haynes book doesn't actually tell you which one's which. Now interestingly, this one looks like a replacement copper pipe, and this one here, I don't know if it's just grime. Yeah, it looks like the original to me, so at least that's a helpful indicator. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pen mark this one up, and that's the one that we're going to start on. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need my little cap off pipes that I made, that I showed you on a previous video. I'm going to undo this, put the cap off into the ABS servo, and then we can start to work out how to trace that pipe back underneath and disconnect all the connectors. I've got my little blanker pipe. Helps if you have the right size spanner. There we go. That's our little cap pipe off. Now of course this pipe's going to be full of fluid, so we're going to go down to the other end, disconnect, and hopefully we can work out which one's which, and then drain it off, and then we can trace the pipe back. That looks good. I don't think we've got any leaks coming out of there, so we're all good. I'm going to show you what I'm doing to try and work this out, whether this is the right or the wrong way. So now obviously the brake line normally attaches to the top there, which which is the piece that I took out. And it goes along, and you can actually see the old brake lines. There's the other one. So we've actually, when we get down to about where the fuel pump, the fuel filter is, let's just see if I can zoom in a little bit. There's actually 4 pipes there. So what that means is going forward, I suspect I've got 4 pipes to contend with, because going to the left of the filter, you can see them heading forward, and they kind of follow the driver's side along, and then they must cross over. So I think the next thing is to climb under and get down to the front of the car and take a look at which way they go up towards the ABS pump, and then we can work out how it's actually feeding and what the route it takes. You can see what I've done. I've taken the caliper off, because remember we're replacing that hose because that's starting to look a bit dodgy. I got a new end piece here. The only thing is this bracket here is what I want. Now this is pretty welded on. You can just about see that it's just been like that for so long. Taking that off is going to be quite tricky, so I'll worry about that another time. I might actually look, see if I can get those brackets fairly cheap, because that would simplify things. But you can see now, there we have the full brake line off. What I'll do is I'll take you around the front and I'll show you something that I discovered. So what I discovered after disconnecting this one here and starting to unthread it, disconnect it from all the connectors, it actually went to the front driver's side wheel. So that was brilliant. So I've now clipped that all the way back in, and I fastened it back in again, and you can see now I undid both of these two, traced this one back first, and that is the rear left, and you can see the highly technical marking I've used. It's just so that I know that they are set correctly, because I know it's important, and I haven't found anywhere that documents that as yet. So you can see I've got my 2 caps in place, that's keeping things nice and sorted, and I'm now starting to undo the right pipe, and we'll take that one all the way back. And it's just as well, because after just moving the pipe slightly, it's not showing it dripping now because obviously I've capped it off up there, but you can see, yeah, there it is, we're dripping brake fluid. So that pipe was actually about to fail, if not already failing on me. So it just proves, because I did and ah about this job, thinking, do I need to do the brakes? And I kept coming back to, brakes are important, key essential feature, and I want this car to keep running for some time. And it's just proven that it's a worthwhile job to do, because that could have given up a week, a month, who knows, it could have given up, and not only would you have lost brakes, then you would have had to do this whole job again, taking the fuel tank out because it makes it easier, all that kind of thing. So it really does prove, when you're doing these jobs,
that some jobs you just think you should do them whilst you've got the ability to. So there we go. I'm quite pleased because that has proven that. By the way, all I'm doing now is pulling the pipes off the clips all the way up to the front and to where the ABS unit's located. There we go, and that is the right side pipe. You can see where the newer pipe, so it's just the end piece that looks like it had been replaced on the rear pipes, was connected up to the original. Oh, and it's leaking out. Be interesting to find where that leak was. It looks about here. So it just started to seep there. So, like I said, glad we've done that. Going to take the caliper off, and then that's that pipe disconnected. So now that I've got the pipe out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out the replacement as closely alongside, because I've tried to keep the curves on this one reasonably similar, so if I can bend this one into a similar sort of shape, it should help when it comes to putting it back on, or at least that's a theory anyway. Not sure how practical that's going to be. Okay, so that might be somewhere close, and you can see I've got a bit of spare now. I'm not sure which end to leave that at. What I might do is start at the back, kind of clip it in place, and then work my way forwards and see what I need. I'll leave a little bit of spare at either end so that I can flare it and do all things properly. So let's get down to the car and try and put it in. away, covered the ends, don't want any rubbish getting in whilst we're doing this. So I think that one there as a starter, that's the fuel breather that goes in on that pipe there as well. And then start clipping it onto the clips, working my way around and see how I get on. Well, it's a couple of hours later and you can see there's the left brake line, and I've just left that along the top because remember there's a metal piece that clips onto. And then the left hand side brake pipe here. I'll just try and get you underneath and I'll show you. Hopefully you can see where it's routed round the back of the fuel filter and along the side of the car. Now if I take you round to the front, here we have the two coils of pipe coming up. Now the front was by far the hardest to route the pipes, and I'm not happy with how it's routed. So it's partly clipped on. I need to finish clipping that on. I also think actually when I took the front right out, I think I bent the pipe a little bit too much. There's a kink in it that I don't like the look of, so I'm probably going to have to redo that one as well. At least that's not too far a run. I don't know if I'm going to have enough pipe though, which is going to be a real pain if I've got to order another 25-metre pipe just to do that, but have to see how I get on. But at least the majority of that's done. It's tricky, but mainly because you just, when it's on the floor, you don't have enough space. So I'll show you that. Obviously at the back it's not too bad, but at the front I could have actually jacked the car up. That would have made things much easier, but there's not much of a gap to work from, so that was fairly tricky, but otherwise there we go. And that's about all for the moment. So brake lines pretty much done, just a little bit of tidying up, so I'll do that during the week. But other than that, I think that's quite good progress, so I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe down the bottom for some more videos and things like that, and of course you can follow the full Volvo 480 project just by clicking on the playlist that'll be appearing somewhere on the screen now, and I'll see you next time.